The Galactic Registry outpost on Velos Prime processed exactly 3,000 beings every standard cycle. Commander Zeleth had overseen the facility for 9 rotations without a single anomaly. His 4 eyes tracked the endless parade of species through biometric scanners with mechanical precision, each reading displaying expected parameters. Strength indices, neural capacity, threat assessment, all catalogued and filed within seconds. Then the human walked in. She looked unremarkable. Brown hair pulled back in a casual ponytail, wearing faded denim pants and a jacket 2 sizes too large. Maybe 20 cycles old by human standards, she carried a battered duffel bag over one shoulder and chewed something pink that snapped loudly between her teeth. "Next," Zeleth droned, gesturing with one of his secondary appendages toward the scanning platform. The girl stepped forward, blowing a bubble that popped wetly. She dropped her bag beside the platform and stood in the designated circle, arms loose at her sides. Zeleth initiated the scan sequence. Standard procedure. Nothing unusual. The scanner hummed to life, projected beams cascading over her frame in geometric patterns, the holographic display populated with data streams, as it always did, species classification loading, biological metrics calculating, threat assessment compiling. Then every screen in the facility turned crimson. "Do not classify" blazed across the main terminal in letters that pulsed like a heartbeat. Alarms shrieked through the processing center. Security barriers slammed down over exits. The girl stood motionless on the platform, examining her fingernails while chaos erupted around her. "What in the void?" Zeleth's voice cracked. He stabbed at his console, trying to override the lockdown. Nothing responded. The entire system had frozen on those 3 words. "First time?" the girl asked, her tone suggesting she was asking about the weather. "Remain still," Zeleth commanded, though his hands trembled over the controls. "Security protocol engaged. You are under quarantine pending classification review." She sighed, long and theatrical. "Yeah, that's not going to work out for you." Armed guards materialized from the secondary chambers, plasma rifles charging with audible whines. 6 Kryn soldiers, their exoskeletons gleaming under the harsh lighting, formed a perimeter around the platform. Standard containment formation. The girl raised one eyebrow. "Really? You guys want to do this dance?" "Identify yourself," the lead guard barked, weapon trained on her center mass. "Maya Cross. Earth. Sol System. 3rd planet. You know, the little blue one everyone keeps saying is a death world." She smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. "I'm here to register for the Academy Exchange Program." Zeleth scrolled frantically through his database. "Human. Yes, they had the species on file, classified as intelligent but physically unremarkable, moderate threat level, nothing that would trigger a system-wide alert, except the scanner refused to classify her. "Miss Cross, there appears to be a malfunction with your biometric reading." Zeleth fought to keep his voice steady. "Please step off the platform and we will attempt another scan." "No malfunction, Commander." Maya cracked her knuckles, the sound sharp in the tense silence. "Your scanner is working exactly as designed, it just does not have clearance for what I—" "Clearance?" Zeleth's confusion deepened. "This is a Galactic Registry facility. We have authority to classify all sentient species." Maya's smile widened. "Except one." The holographic display flickered, then reformed into a new image. A symbol Zeleth recognized immediately, the classified insignia of the 12. The Shadow Council that operated above even the Galactic Senate, the group so secretive most citizens believed they were myth. His blood turned to ice water. "You are claiming to be one of the 12? Zeleth whispered.
"Me?"
"No," Maya laughed, genuine amusement coloring her voice. "I'm just the delivery girl, but I work for someone who very much does not want me in your database." The security guards looked to Zeleth for orders, their weapons still raised but uncertainty creeping into their stances. One did not challenge the 12, ever. The few who tried simply disappeared. "Then why trigger the alert?" Zeleth demanded. "If you wanted to avoid registration, there are quieter methods." "Because quiet is boring," Maya stretched, rolling her shoulders like an athlete warming up. "And because I needed to confirm something. Your system just told me everything I needed to know, which is that whoever set up this facility knew about my kind. They programmed that lovely red warning specifically for us, which means someone very high up is tracking human operatives." Her expression hardened, Someone I'm going to have a very unpleasant conversation with. Zealot's mandibles clicked nervously. Human operatives. You make it sound like there are more of you. Oh, Commander? There are dozens of us scattered across the galaxy. We've been here for years, watching, learning, making sure humanity's interests are protected. She picked up her duffel bag, slinging it back over her shoulder. Most of my colleagues prefer subtlety. I find it overrated. You cannot simply leave. One of the guards protested. Protocol demands you remain until Maya moved. One moment she stood on the platform. The next she was behind the speaker, his own rifle pressed against the soft joint in his exoskeleton armor. The other guards spun, trying to track her, but she was already moving again. A blur of motion that should not be possible for someone without enhancement. She disarmed all 6 soldiers in under 4 seconds. Impressive response time, though, Maya commented, tossing the weapons into a careless pile, 3.2 seconds from threat recognition to weapon acquisition. Your training officer should be proud. The guard stood frozen, uncertain how to proceed against an unarmed target who had just humiliated them without breaking a sweat. Zelith found his voice. How did you move that fast, Deathworld? Remember, Earth gravity is 1.3 times standard. Our atmosphere has higher oxygen content. Our predators are faster and meaner than anything on 70% of registered worlds. Maya's grin turned sharp. You want to know what evolution on a planet like that produces? Survivors. Adaptable, relentless survivors who can think and fight and endure when everyone else quits. That does not explain the speed. Muscle density twice your baseline. Reflexes honed by millennia of hunting creatures that wanted to eat us. A nervous system that processes combat data faster than most species' computers. She tapped her temple, plus a little genetic optimization courtesy of programs your precious registry does not know about. Humanity learned a long time ago that asking permission means giving others control. We stopped asking. Zilith's worst fears crystallized into certainty. The humans were not the naive newcomers everyone assumed. They had been preparing, adapting, positioning themselves while the rest of the galaxy dismissed them as primitive. Why are you telling me this? He whispered. Because I want you to deliver a message to whoever programmed that warning system, whoever is tracking my people. Maya's voice dropped, all humor evaporating. Tell them we know. Tell them the game has changed, and tell them if they want to keep playing, they better be ready for humans to start playing back. She walked toward the exit. The security barriers remained locked. Solid metal designed to withstand plasma cutters. Maya did not slow down. She punched the barrier once. The reinforced alloy shrieked, buckling inward. A second strike and the entire panel tore free, crashing to the floor with a thunderous clang that echoed through the chamber. Oh, and Commander, she glanced back over her shoulder. The Academy Exchange Program. I'm attending whether they approve me or not. Earth is done waiting for permission to join your little galactic club. We're taking our seat at the table. Anyone who objects can take it up with me personally. Then she was gone, disappearing into the crowded corridors beyond. Zelith stood motionless for a full minute before his communication implant chimed. The frequency was one he had hoped never to receive. Encrypted Priority Alpha. Source classified. Report, a voice commanded. Distorted. Artificial. Impossible to identify. She knows about the tracking protocol. Zelith managed. She knows about all of it. Irrelevant. Did she access any systems? No. She just delivered a message. Which was? Zelith recited Maya's words verbatim, his voice shaking. Silence stretched across the connection. Activate Protocol Nightfall. The voice finally responded. Humans can no longer be considered neutral actors. Reclassify the species as potential hostile. Sir, with respect, she disabled 6 trained soldiers without injuring any of them. She could have killed us all. That suggests restraint. It suggests calculation. She wanted witnesses. Wanted us afraid. A pause. Fear is a weapon, Commander, and the humans just declared war whether they realize it or not. The connections severed. Zelith looked at the pile of confiscated weapons, the ruined security barrier, the frozen scanners still displaying its crimson warning. In 9 rotations, nothing had gone wrong. Now everything had changed in under 10 minutes. One human girl had walked through his facility and shattered the illusion of galactic order. He wondered how many more like her were already out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for their moment. The thought terrified him more than any weapon, because weapons you could see coming. But humans? They had apparently been here all along, watching from the shadows while everyone assumed they understood the threat. The scanner had tried to warn them. Do not classify. Not because humans were too weak to measure, but because the measurements themselves were compromised. Because someone somewhere had decided humanity needed to remain an unknown variable, and unknown variables could not be controlled. Zilith initiated the station-wide security review, already knowing what he would find. Gaps. Blind spots. Moments when systems had glitched or sensors had failed or reports had gone missing. All explainable, all innocent when viewed in isolation. But together, they painted a picture of infiltration, systematic, patient, thorough. The humans had not been asking to join the galactic community. They had been studying it, learning its weaknesses, preparing, and now they were done hiding. Maya Cross's final words echoed in his mind. Anyone who objects can take it up with me personally. It sounded like a joke. Teenage bravado from a girl barely old enough to qualify for the academy. But Zilith had seen her move, seen her dismantle trained soldiers like they were children, seen her tear through a barrier designed to stop assault vehicles. He suspected there was nothing remotely childish about Maya Cross, or any of the other humans. The scanner's warning flashed one more time before the system finally reset, returning to its normal operations. Do not classify. Zilith understood now. It was not a malfunction. It was a threat. The Academy of Interstellar Sciences occupied 17 orbital platforms above Centrius Major, each dedicated to a different field of study. Maya stood in the central transit hub, watching species from across the galaxy navigate between stations with practiced ease. Crystalline Vexians floated past, their bodies refracting light into prismatic patterns. Hulking Grend lumbered through corridors built to accommodate their mass. Delicate Wisp glided on air currents, their translucent forms barely visible. And then there were the humans. Maya counted 8 others in the immediate vicinity, all wearing the same carefully neutral expressions. To anyone else, they looked like ordinary students, nervous, excited, overwhelmed by the grandeur. But Maya noticed the way Jin Park tracked every security camera, how Marcus Webb positioned himself with clear sightlines to all exits, the subtle hand signals Priya Naran used to communicate with someone outside visual range. Her people were already in position. Miss Cross? A voice interrupted her observations. I am Academic Coordinator Thress. Welcome to the Academy. The Velian administrator stood barely 4 feet tall, his silver fur immaculate, his 3 eyes arranged in a triangular pattern across his broad face. He held a data tablet that projected her admission status. Thanks for having me, Maya replied with calculated enthusiasm. I've been dreaming about this opportunity for years. Yes, your application was quite compelling. Thress's whiskers twitched. Though I must admit, we were surprised by the circumstances of your registry scan. Most unusual. Technical glitch. I heard. Indeed, most unusual technical glitch. His middle eye focused on her with uncomfortable intensity, one that has never occurred in the registry's 300-year operational history. Maya shrugged. First time for everything. Thress studied her for another moment before gesturing toward a transport platform. Your orientation begins in 1 standard hour, Platform 7, Educational Complex Delta. Please do not be late. The Academy maintains strict protocols. I'm great with rules, Maya lied cheerfully. She boarded the transport alone, watching Thress disappear into the crowd. The moment the doors sealed, her cheerful facade evaporated. She activated her comm implant with a sub-vocal click. Chen, status. Database access confirmed. Lisa Chen's voice responded directly into her auditory nerve. They've upgraded security since our last intel, but nothing I can't handle. Give me 6 hours and I'll have full administrative access. Webb. Security rotations are predictable. 17-minute gaps in coverage across 6 critical junctions. More than enough. Marcus sounded almost bored. These people have been comfortable too long. They've forgotten what real threats look like. Park, communications monitoring is a joke. Jin's disgust was palpable. They're routing everything through central hubs with minimal encryption. I could intercept Senate-level transmissions if I wanted. Aya smiled without humor. Good. Because that's exactly what we're about to do. The transport arrived at Platform 7. Maya disembarked into a corridor filled with first-year students from dozens of worlds. She blended seamlessly into the crowd, just another human trying to navigate an overwhelming new environment. Except she had been navigating environments like this for 3 years, ever since Earth's shadow government decided infiltration beat confrontation. Ever since humanity realized the galaxy would never give them a seat at the table unless they took it themselves. The orientation auditorium held 2,000 students. Maya found a seat in the middle section, deliberately unremarkable. A holographic projection materialized at the front displaying the Academy's founder, a long-dead architect whose species had achieved faster-than-light travel when humans were still banging rocks together. "Welcome, students, to the greatest institution of learning in the known galaxy." The speech droned on. The platitudes about cooperation, unity, the shared pursuit of knowledge transcending species barriers. Maya tuned it out, focusing instead on the security measures. Biometric scanners at every entrance, armed guards positioned in alcoves, surveillance drones hovering near the ceiling, their sensors tracking movement patterns. Impressive, but designed to detect external threats, not the ones already inside. Her implant chimed softly. Private channel, encrypted beyond anything the Academy could crack. "Cross, we have a problem." Rector Sarah Okonkwo's voice was tight with controlled anger. "Intel just confirmed Galactic Security initiated Protocol Nightfall. They're reclassifying humanity as hostile." Maya's jaw clenched. "When?" "4 hours ago. Right after your little demonstration at the registry. They were tracking us anyway. I just forced them to show their hand. And now they're mobilizing. Surveillance assets being repositioned. Security protocols updated. They're preparing for something, Maya. Something big. Let them prepare." Maya kept her voice level, aware that even in a crowd this size, someone might be listening. "We're already 3 steps ahead." Overconfidence got Martinez killed. The name landed like a physical blow. David Martinez, best operative Earth had ever produced, dead 6 months ago on a routine intelligence-gathering mission that turned into an ambush. They never recovered his body, never got confirmation on who ordered the hit, but Maya had her suspicions. "Martinez got killed because someone on the inside sold us out," she said quietly. "Someone with access to our deployment schedules and operational parameters. Someone we trusted." "You're still on that theory?" "It's not a theory. It's the only explanation that makes sense." Maya watched the holographic presentation shift to displays of laboratory equipment. "The 12 knew about our operatives before we even arrived at their facilities. They had protocols ready, tracking systems in place. Someone told them we were coming." Okonkwo was silent for several seconds. "If you're right, that means we have a traitor in command, or higher. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth, and I'm going to prove it." Maya's fingers drummed against her armrest. "The Academy isn't just a school, Director. It's a hub. Every major species sends their best students here. Information flows through this place like water. If I can access their communication networks, I can trace the leak. And if you're caught, then I guess you'll need to send someone to retrieve me." Maya smiled grimly. "But I won't get caught." The orientation concluded with instructions to report to assigned dormitories. Maya followed the crowd toward the residential platforms, memorizing layouts and guard positions as she walked. Her assigned quarters were on Platform 12, shared with 3 other students, a Kren named Vexel, a Wispa called Shimmer, and another human, Kenji Tanaka. Kenji was not one of hers. "Hey, Rumi," he greeted her with an easy grin as she entered. "Kenji, engineering track, you." "Maya, xenobiology." The cover story rolled off her tongue smoothly. "Nice to meet you." They exchanged pleasantries while Maya scanned the room for surveillance. 2 cameras, audio pickups in 3 corners, standard monitoring for student safety, also perfect for intelligence gathering if you knew how to feed them false data. "You seem pretty calm about all this," Kenji observed, unpacking a small collection of mechanical parts. "Most first years are freaking out." "I don't freak out easy." "Yeah? What's your secret?" Maya met his eyes directly. "I spent 2 years working on a deep space mining station where equipment failure meant instant death. After that, school doesn't seem so scary." It was partially true. She had trained on a station, just not for mining. Kenji laughed. "Fair enough. Well, if you ever need help navigating this place, let me know. My older brother attended 3 years ago. He gave me all the insider tips. I'll keep that in mind." Vexel and Shimmer arrived within the hour. The Kryn was gruff but friendly. The Wisp barely acknowledged anyone, spending most of their time hovering near the environmental controls, adjusting atmospheric composition to their preference. Maya waited until after midnight. The dormitory quieted as students settled into sleep cycles. Maya lay in her bunk, eyes closed, breathing regulated. To all appearances she was asleep. Her implant activated silently. Encrypted connection established. Chen's voice whispered through her neural link.
I'm in their central database. You were right. They've been tracking human students since the program started. Biometric data. Academic performance. Social connections. Everything.
Looking for what? Patterns. Anomalies. Anything that suggests enhanced capabilities or covert training. Chen paused. Maya, they have files on all of us. Our cover identities are solid, but they're suspicious. They know something's wrong, they just can't prove it yet. Then we move faster. Maya's eyes remained closed, her breathing unchanged.
Can you access their communication archives?
Already done. Downloading now. But there's something else. I found a classified file eyes only for the Academy Director and someone listed as Asset 17. Who's Asset 17? Unknown. But they've been accessing student records. Specifically records of human students who dropped out or transferred. Maya's blood ran cold. Martinez had been enrolled at the academy 6 months before his death. His cover story included withdrawing from classes due to family emergency. How many human students have left the academy in the past year? 12. And how many made it back to Earth? Silence stretched across the connection. Then Chen's voice barely audible. 5. 7 missing students. 7 operatives who disappeared without trace. Find Asset 17, Maya ordered. I don't care what it takes. I need a name on it. But Maya, if they're hunting us that actively, then we hunt them first. She opened her eyes, staring at the ceiling of her dormitory. Somewhere on these platforms, someone was systematically eliminating human operatives. Someone with access, authority, and the cold calculation to make students disappear without triggering investigations. The 12 operated in shadows, but they were not ghosts. They left traces, made mistakes. And Maya was very good at finding mistakes. She slipped out of bed, moving silently despite the artificial gravity. Her roommate slept undisturbed as she activated the room's privacy screen, a simple device meant to give students personal space during video calls. It also blocked internal sensors. Maya pulled a slim device from her duffel, no larger than a credit chip. Military-grade scanner capable of detecting surveillance equipment the Academy's standard sweeps would miss. She methodically checked every surface, every fixture, every potential hiding spot. She found 3 additional bugs. All military specification, all recently installed. Someone was watching her specifically. Maya smiled. Let them watch. She placed each bug in carefully calculated positions, then activated a pre-recorded loop. To anyone monitoring, she would appear to be sleeping soundly for the next 6 hours. Then she left, slipping into corridors empty except for automated maintenance drones. Platform 7 housed the communication nexus. Maya had memorized the security rotations during orientation, 17-minute gap. Webb had confirmed it. She had 14 minutes to get inside, access the system, and extract Asset 17's identity. The corridor approach was clear. 2 guards stationed at the main entrance, both facing outward, watching for external threats. Maya went up instead, accessing maintenance shafts that ran parallel to primary corridors. Earth's enhanced operatives trained in zero-gravity environments. Climbing through a shaft in 1G was almost relaxing. She emerged inside the communications center through a ventilation grate. Empty. Night shift monitoring was automated, with techs on call if alerts triggered. Maya moved to the central console, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces with practiced precision. Chen had provided access codes, but Maya added her own touches, creating backdoors within backdoors, ensuring even if this intrusion was discovered, she could return. Files populated across multiple screens, transmission logs, personnel records, classified reports, and there, buried under 17 layers of encryption. Asset 17's file. Maya opened it, then stopped breathing. The face staring back at her was familiar. Not from Academy records, from Earth Command briefings. Admiral James Chen, Lisa's father, head of covert operations. The traitor was not some external agent or corrupted official. He was one of their own, and he had been selling out human operatives for 3 years. Maya's hands trembled with rage. every lost operative, every failed mission, every death, including Martina's, all because Chen wanted something the 12 could provide. Power, position, a seat at their shadow table. He had sacrificed his own people for personal advancement. The file contained communication logs, detailed reports of every human operative's location, assignment, and vulnerabilities. Chen had provided the 12 with everything they needed to systematically eliminate Earth's best agents, and his own daughter was helping him whether she knew it or not. Maya copied everything, routing the data through so many encrypted channels that tracing it would take years. Then she deleted her access traces and retreated through the ventilation system. She had 9 minutes before the security gap closed. She made it back to her dormitory with 90 seconds to spare, sliding into her bunk just as Vuxil stirred, his exoskeleton creaking softly. Maya's mind raced. She could not contact Okonkwo, not directly. If Chen had infiltrated command, he would monitor all communications, but she could contact someone else. Someone Chen would never suspect. She waited until morning, until the chaos of students rushing to first classes provided cover. Then she found Jin Park in the crowd, bumping into him with calculated clumsiness. "Sorry," she muttered, palming him a data chip smaller than a fingernail. Jin's expression never changed, but his fingers closed around the chip. He would know what to do. The information would reach the right people, the ones Chen had not corrupted, and then humanity would take care of its own traitor. Maya attended her first class, a lecture on xenobiology fundamentals. She took notes, asked questions, played the eager student, all while planning how to survive the next 48 hours. Because Chen would realize his cover was blown, he would panic, and panicked traitors were the most dangerous kind. Her implant chimed. Private channel. Unknown source. "Hello, Maya." The voice was synthesized, impossible to identify. "I believe you have something that belongs to me." "Depends," Maya replied subvocally. "Are you Asset 17 or one of the 12? Does it matter? Either way, you are isolated, surrounded by enemies. Your fellow operatives cannot help you. Earth Command cannot reach you in time. You are alone." "I'm never alone." Maya smiled, looking around the lecture hall. 8 other humans scattered throughout the seats, all watching her, all ready. "You made a mistake. You thought we were individuals, easy to pick off one by one, but we're a pack, and you just threatened one of ours." Brave words, but ultimately meaningless. "Your species is outmatched, outgunned, out of patience." Maya interrupted. "We're done playing by your rules, done waiting for permission, done pretending we're anything other than what we are. Survivors from a death world who learned a long time ago that the universe does not care about fairness. It cares about strength. And you believe humans are strong enough to challenge the 12? I believe the 12 have never faced an enemy like us. You've dealt with species that evolved in comfort, in safety, in environments that taught them cooperation over competition." Maya's voice hardened. "We evolved hunting megafauna with nothing but rocks and spite. We survived ice ages and plagues, and our own tendency towards self-destruction. Every single human alive is descended from the most stubborn, vicious, adaptable survivors in our planet's history. Want to see what happens when evolution creates a predator species that developed intelligence? You're about to find out." The connections severed. Alarms shrieked across the academy. Lockdown protocols engaged, sealing platforms and initiating security sweeps. But Maya was already moving, along with every other human operative in the facility. They had planned for this, trained for this. Known eventually the shadows would fight back. The war between humanity and the 12 had just begun. And Maya Cross intended to make sure the 12 learned exactly why you never cornered a predator, especially one from a death world.